There's actually an unfair advantage here, and that's in the online money space, or the self-help space, as you most commonly will know it as. And if you've found this video, then you're probably in the self-help space in some way, whether you're a fan of self-help content, whether you're a fan of one of these self-help entrepreneurial style influencers, or whether you just kind of see it online every now and again. Now, there's a small section that are the people at the top that, like in any industry really, but especially with the online money space, the self-help space, where these people dominate. They are the kind of names and faces that you think of when you think of self-help space or self-help gurus or like entrepreneurial influencers, the kind of online money influencer type of people. They're obviously the likes of Andrew Tate, who I would say is known outside of the kind of entrepreneurship, self-help space, online money space, because they've been in the news. You know, the Tate brothers have both been in the news, so people outside of the self-help space know them because they're just seen as a kind of online money controversial influencer. Whereas the people that are like Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozy, Luke Belmar, those types of people, they aren't known outside of the self-help space really, unless you are close friends with or family with people that are in the self-help space. You might see their content on like your brother's phone or your friend's phone. But these people at the top almost form this kind of pyramid structure. Now, I'm not on about pyramid schemes, although especially in the self-help space, there are more than too many self-help gurus that are scam artists that promote pyramid schemes, literally, where obviously like they might sell a course and they'll say, if you pay for this course, then this course is about how to make courses about making courses, and if you invest in this course, then you make 50% commission when you sell this course to somebody else as an affiliate. And obviously the pyramid only goes so far before they run out of customers, and obviously the people at the top make the most, people at the bottom make nothing, because it's just an affiliate scam basically. And a lot of people obviously use that pyramid structure, and it's prevalent in the kind of self-help and online money space, which is obviously why people typically connect it to pyramid schemes, which is where most people obviously, they'll say, here's how you make money online, and the course that they sell or the program that they sell is about making money online, and you make money online by selling a course on how to make money online, and that's where the scam keeps going and going and going and going and going. And if there's no inherent value in what that person is saying, other than literally you pay $1,000 to that person and you get a video of them saying, if you want to make $10,000 a month, you sell a course for $1,000 to 10 different people. If there's no inherent value in how you can use this in your own way, or just any differently from the way they're saying it, then at some point it's going to end because there's no more people that will buy into the scam. So if there's no value provided necessarily, then it's not going to go anywhere. So obviously, scams aside, there is a pyramid structure where the likes of, Andrew Tate, Iman Gadzhi, Luke Belmar, kind of like Alex Hormozy now with School.com, like invested with Sam Ovens in, these people that form the kind of top 0.1%, 0.001% of the market, they're the names and faces that we're aware of in the self-help space. And that's because they are capitalizing on an unfair advantage that is the lever that they can pull, a lever, depending on where you live in the world, the lever that they can pull for maximum leverage, because they've made money in the self-help. Well, they've made money not necessarily in the self-help space, but they've made money online. They may have joined the self-help space. They may have made their first 100,000, their first million, their first 5, 10, however many, however much money in the kind of self-help space, or with whatever their first business was, whether they're a freelancer, whether they sold a product or a service. That's where they made the first money, and then they realized this: there is more money to be made in teaching someone how to make money than there is in doing the thing itself. And you can perceive that in various ways. Obviously, you can perceive this as in a kind of scammy way, which is you make more money selling how to do the thing than the thing itself, which is very fair enough. We see that very prominently now. It's cheaper to teach people how to make $1,000 a month than to make your first $1,000 a month. which, you'll make your first $1,000 a month much quicker and technically easier than making your first $1,000 by providing value in another way that isn't teaching someone how to make $1,000 a month. And I always stand by the belief that I will never ever want to kind of mentor, instruct, or consult or coach someone in any way to do something that I have not personally done myself. And I've even, I've worked with a couple of different people to, help them do what I've already done to a certain extent. And even other people that don't necessarily do this aren't in the online money space. They kind of help them get a few customers or clients, but in a way it was kind of like a smaller version of what I'm already doing as an agency. So more or less, this is what the top people that are the names and faces that we know of in the self-help space. When we first think of the self-help space, these are the names and faces that we know because they own or have created online educational platforms, courses, or communities in some way, because they know that the money is made in the coaching, the consulting, the networking elements, and the teaching, material, the learning material, and the knowledge in helping people make money. Because again, it's always been the same way. It's why Tony Robbins is a multi-millionaire, practically a billionaire, because there is more money to be made in, let's say, a 2-day weekend where you charge $10,000 a ticket to help, let's say, 10,000 people, where you make millions that weekend, and you teach them how they can make more money by improving themselves, learning these high income skills, all these sorts of things. Whereas if he tries to sell his book, or if he tries to sell anything to do with anything else that isn't teaching, then he's not going to make as much money as quickly. So these people are very quickly realizing over the past few years that, especially since the likes of people like Tai Lopez back in the early 2010s, he's probably one of the first self-help gurus that was talking about how to make more money online. He's one of the first online money gurus. And they all realized and capitalized on this idea that the money is not made in the short term, like within a few years. The money is only made in a few years in teaching people how to make more money online, or how to, get rich quick, and obviously selling a pipe dream to an extent. And that's obviously where the scam artists live in. But these people that are making educational platforms, courses, communities, the likes of The Real World, Iman Gadzhi's Educate, Luke Baumar's Capital Club, Alex Hormozi with School, and Sam Evans with School, they realize the money is made in this untapped market. And even Alex Hormozi talked about this untapped market, where formal education is dying at like 20% a year, but self-education is growing by about 6 billion a year worldwide. Obviously, don't quote me on those numbers. I think that's what Alex Hormozi mentioned. But it's just a fact now that these people that have this unfair advantage because they're capitalizing on realizing that you can affect the market in a much shorter time scale by helping more people make more money, because they have to make more money by helping more people. And so it's kind of like it's literally trickle-down economics, where if you have 5 influencers that made their first million online, and so now in order for them to make multi-millions or billions, they teach hundreds of thousands of other people each, millions of people combined across all of their platforms, how to make money online in the way they did, and in the way other instructors and coaches and consultants they can get on their platforms. So between Andrew Tate's The Real World, Iman Gadzhi's Educate with Digital Launchpad as well, Luke Belmar's Capital Club, between Alex Hormozi with School, they can all collectively help millions of people make hundreds and hundreds of millions, maybe even billions. Now, obviously, there's a certain level. There's 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 a Pareto principle here, which is that typically 80% of the output is only the result from 20% of the input, or in this case, like 20% of the people, or the smaller percentage of people, the minority of people, are responsible for 80% of the results. And obviously, that's just the case of it's an unequal. It's always in reality, in nature, human nature, there is an unequal distribution of effort and mentality and growth and change. It's why there's wealth redistribution is the way it is. Wealth distribution, not redistribution, sorry, is the way it is. The tiniest percentage of people have the most amount of wealth, because it's always it's always just the way human nature is, and it's always why wealth redistribution doesn't work as well, because it's why you can't tax the billionaires, because they obviously find the tax havens, but also they know how to pay no taxes, because they obviously that's what they do, and it's what the structures they have set up with their businesses. But that aside, talking about like the way that these influencers and these people that have started these e-learning companies do, is they've realized that the way they have the quickest impact in the entire market is by helping as many people as possible do what they did, because it's harder for you as an individual to affect, let's say, 1 million people than it is for you to affect 10,000 people, that those 10,000 then affect 100,000, and those 100,000 then affect 1 million, like trickle down economics. If you can help one person make $10,000 a month with their agency, that's great. But if you can make 10,000 people make $10,000 a month with their agencies, that's helping exponentially more people than you could do by yourself. And that is what these like the self-help gurus are realizing. That's what these online entrepreneurial influencers that have built these educational platforms, courses, communities have realized. So that's really the whole point of this video, is that the unfair advantage here is that there is more money to be made in the short term, and I'm talking like up to 3 to 5, maybe 10 years at most, by helping more people make more money, by teaching people how you did what you did, and how all the other various methods involved: e-commerce, dropshipping, social media marketing, whatever the skill might be. So that's the unfair advantage. Now, I'm not particularly interested in trying to get into education of any kind, because with my specific situation, I built a marketing agency, and I am now trying to help as many small business owners as possible grow their businesses, which isn't really in a self-help space at all, but I am involved in the self-help space, trying to make money online, and obviously trying to build my business locally as well as internationally as well. So I really wanted to comment on the unfair advantage here, and what these entrepreneurial influences are capitalizing on, which is they are teaching what they learned by making their first few million, and now telling the world how they did it, and they're making these communities. So that's how they've done it, really. And so if you're interested in trying to make quick money, quick cash, that's how they've been doing it. And it's difficult because they have a track record. They've made their first few million online by having a marketing agency, by selling products through e-commerce and dropshipping, whatever it might be. So that's what they're capitalizing on. They're capitalizing on leveraging people that they can teach how to make, replace their income, make money online, start businesses, and ultimately they can then help thousands of people. And there's a thing I think that Luke Belmar actually said at I think it was like an Amsterdam meetup once. He says that what does Jeff Bezos do? Jeff Bezos, you become a billionaire or a multi-billionaire by helping as many people as possible become multi-millionaires. And that's ultimately how it works in this case. For the short term, it's about teaching people how to make money, but then in the long term, it's about just generally providing as much value to other people. Wealth is made basically I think even Alex Hormozy said this. Wealth is made by helping as many people as possible, as much money as possible, and growing their net worth as much as possible, providing as much wealth to as many people as possible, lifting the general amount of wealth created in the world to as many people as possible. So yeah, I thought I'd leave you with that. That's my comment on the whole unfair advantage in the self-help space and the online money space. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.